And on this World Refugee Day, let's bring in a former refugee from Iran, now a critically acclaimed writer in America. Porochista Khakpour was born in Tehran. Her family fled after the outbreak of the Iran-Iraq War and overcame countless challenges before resettling in the Los Angeles area. Khakpour's latest novel, Tehrangeles, one of the most anticipated books of 2024. And Porochista joins us live from New York. Porochista, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Asieh. It's an honor to be here.
Well, talk about some of the challenges you and your family faced as refugees coming to America all those years ago.
Yeah, that's all my first memories are that, fleeing wartime, anti-aircraft missiles in the air, my parents crying, panicking, it was buses, trains, planes, and just no idea of where we would possibly live. So I had a lot of trauma from those early years. It was very, very difficult until we got to the San Gabriel Valley in Los Angeles. It's still quite a ways from a lot of the Iranians in LA, but it was very difficult, I have to say.
So Porochista, talk to us about how your experiences, how the trauma you're talking about, certainly it did shape your identity and who you are today as an Iranian American, also as a very accomplished writer.
Well, one thing was that I didn't speak English, and I was first put in ESL classes. And so I was very determined at a young age that I really wanted to be a writer. One of the things that we did travel with in that refugee period was books. And so I would tell stories to my father. He would write these little tales that I would tell. And I really learned the value of books. So it was very important for me to master English. And that's the only occupation I ever wanted to pursue. At age 4, I said I wanted to be an author. And the other day, I thought I'm really living that dream of that 4-year-old refugee. I didn't even become a citizen until I was 23. There's always this idea that we might go back to Iran, even up till then. And now I'm 46, twice that. So it's been exactly half my life I've been an American.
It's truly remarkable to me that at age 4, you knew that you wanted to become a writer. Looking back at your younger self, the little girl you were, what would you tell her? What would you tell that little girl?
I would tell her it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to continue working very, very hard. You can't, let your guard down, but it's going to pay off. Your hard work will pay off. Just keep reading, keep writing, keep having faith in the people of this country and in your great friends, and that it'll end up okay.
So what goes through your mind, Porochista, with all that you've accomplished? Books, literary awards, fellowships, essays, features, stories, columns. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, what goes through your mind? Do you say to yourself, oh my goodness, I did it. I've made something of myself. Here I was as a refugee child from Iran. Look at me now.
Yeah, just an hour before this, I mean, they just announced it was NPR Book of the Day, and I just thought to myself, like, how is that even possible? I was someone who barely spoke English. We had so few resources as a young person. I still struggle. I mean, I've never made it in the financial sense, in the economic sense, but all my dreams, my artistic dreams came true. A lot of my professional dreams came true. I still have more dreams, and that's very refugee and very immigrant, I think. But I just think that it's remarkable. And I think one thing that we Iranians really value is freedom, and to been given that freedom here, that's something you can't really quantify or monetize,
And what is your message to refugees around the world? We're seeing so many conflict zones. So many people in search of a better life, facing one obstacle after another. What is your message to them, and what is your message to policymakers in this country who are trying hard to keep immigrants out?
It's breaking my heart, the anti-immigrant rhetoric. It's all over the world now. It's really, really toxic and so unfortunate. And I want the people at the top to realize immigrants are wonderful. Refugees are wonderful. They add so much to a country. I mean, you can actually do the math on that and see what assets they've been all around the world. And I want immigrants and refugees to know, please don't listen to this fringe group that has hate in their hearts, and don't listen to some of the political rhetoric that makes you feel unwanted. There's plenty of people here on the ground in so many communities, like communities that I've been lucky to be in, that will embrace you and love you, and just reach out, and we will be there for you.
What was the hardest part for you about assimilating into the American culture. I can tell you for myself, I was much older than you. I was 12 years old when I came to America, and I just never felt like I quite fit in. What about your experiences?
It was very tough because, on one level, there was still that rhetoric about Iranians being terrorists, and then there was the rhetoric of Iranians being very wealthy and interangelous, which is why we're in this book. But it was this idea that Iranians were one of two things, that sort of in Clueless, they talk about a Persian mafia of these people wearing Armani and gold. But my family didn't fit into any of that. We lived in a low income neighborhood. We were lower middle class in a little apartment. And we didn't have fancy clothes or fancy cars. My dad had a Pinto, we were really struggling. So it was very tough. It was very tough in many ways, but I just bonded with other immigrant communities. And that was really exciting, And then later I came to discover a lot of Iranians when I came to New York for college, actually.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck and thank you for sharing your story with us.